Yeah. Oh my goodness. I screwed that up in the beginning, but you know how that goes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I'm starting a little bit early because, oh lordy, I got that going on. I'm monitoring to make sure it's running correctly. You know, the stream, that is. Because I don't want y'all to think that I'm not checking out and see what's going on with the stream. But, yeah, buddy. Hey, Machine, welcome here. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm going to give it a little bit, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to give a little bit. I'm going to give it like 4 or 5 minutes. Let everybody jump in and get in here. You know what time it is. So this way, we can get it started on the right note. But the thing is this. Hopefully y'all can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Of course, I'm excited too. This is going to be an all AMD build. All AMD. All AMD. So, now, this is how it's going to work. It's a Christmas build. It's my end of the year build. You guys know this, and I've been talking about this all the time. And we're going to have a happy time here today. We're not going to be talking about what other companies are doing. We're just going to be dealing in what we got here, this all AMD build. So we're just going to make this an all AMD Christmas build. Not all AMD, but we got the Ryzen. So y'all see that. Y'all seen the case through my other videos, so I'm not going to bring the case up right now. So there's part of my parts list. Let me go ahead and just pop it down here a little bit. And let me get this little thingamajiggy out of there as well. There. Okay. We'll just get that out of there so you all can see. Get your drinks and snacks, by the way, because this is going to be a long build. I'm not going to rush through it like, when, and y'all, I'm not monkeying around. This is a real deal. This is a build. I'm not monkeying around. So guess what? Oh, man, come on, man. So, I do my own sound effects. You have pizza on the way and you're not sharing with us. Oh my God, guys. Machine's got pizza on the way, not sharing with us. Okay, this is not the team group I'm using, but even though I use Corsair Vengeance, just to let you know, yes, it's in a Ripjaw package, but that's not what I'm using here today. Let me throw that out of the way. This is what I'm using today. See, montage, do-do-do-do, montage, do-do-do-do-do. There. That's the best I could do for montage. Okay, I'm not that great at montage. But, Corsair, right here. There's the power supply that's going in this case. Right here, this bad boy. We got that out there. And I showed you guys the Ripjaw. I showed you guys this right here. So I'm setting all these items out of the way so we can get down to the nitty gritty. You guys seen the power supply? Look at this. Brand new power supply. Brand new power supply. And this is the kind of power supply you want. Okay? Even though the power supply cost me $160, I'm going to tell you, this right here is the best one you're going to buy. And the reason why I'm saying that is for the fact of, everybody was wondering about those transient spikes and everything else. I've already tested this with the transient spikes and everything else. I get no spikes whatsoever. None. So I ain't got to worry about my system being trashed by transient spikes. You get that on older model PSUs, but the newer ones are more advanced now that, they run cleaner. I mean, you can go look at tests. You can go around to different reviewers looking for their test, but my test is this. I've already tested this. And when I say I've already tested it. So, and we're using Deep Cool. Got some Deep Cool right here. This is going to be for the processor, the cooler for the processor, the LS720SE, a 360 millimeter liquid cooler for the CPU. So, there, we get that out of the way. There, we'll move that out of the way. And we're going to go for this, for the Gusto. Right here, Asus TUF B550 Plus Wi-Fi 2 motherboard. We'll open this up so that way you all can see. I've already did a video on this motherboard. I've already tested it and everything else. Well, hell, I'll bring it out in a minute. Y'all have to just wait a hot minute. I'll bring it out in a minute. I want to get to the star of the show right here. AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT. Power color. I really wish I had a sponsor from one of these companies. I really do. It would have been really nice. But everything's bought by me, so can't say they sponsored me because I sponsored me today. So, and this is not going to be for me. This is going to be for somebody else. This is going to be for them. And these two packages right here, these are for my PC and my other PC, my sleeper build and that. So we will move that out of the way so that way we can make way for the big case. The big daddy of it all. I have to take it out over here, and take it out over here so that way y'all, I'll bring it up on here and we'll do that. But first, what I really want to do is get a drink first, Make sure you have your supplies in hands before you build your PC. Make sure you get a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, or if you need a special screwdriver, make sure you got a special screwdriver. Make sure you got your thermal paste, MX4. Now there is an MX6, but I use MX4. It runs really well on my PC. Mine stays cool. I'm at 115 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And that's running everything I got going on. So, that tells you MX4. Let's take it out of the package and see what it looks like. Uh-oh, where's the thermal paste? The box is empty. Look at this. Somebody gave me an empty box. Damn. What am I going to do, y'all? I got an empty box. Just kidding. Just kidding. I got it right here. Never leave home without it. So we'll start there. There's one part that I can't show you, and that's the SSD. The M.2 SSD didn't come in from Amazon. Disappointed. They're about maybe 6 hours away from here, and they can't get it here until after the 21st, 22nd of December. So very disappointed in Amazon over that. But all these parts did come, well, not all these parts, but most of these parts came from Amazon. Now, the motherboard and the processor, that came from Micro Center. Shout out to Micro Center. You know, y'all make sure you give them thumbs up, by the way. And make sure if you're liking all my videos, you put thumbs up on them, because if you don't, YouTube won't get us out there. Just to let you know. It seems that, you know, I hear that people, you know, bots and everything are kind of attacking YouTube creators and stuff, to where they can't get, you know, subscribers to come to their channels. Excuse me. It's just a mess right now. Please get the word out, everybody. Please get the word out. We need subscribers. We need more subscribers. I would love to have more subscribers. Okay. In order for me to do these builds, you know, I'm going to have to, you know, the channel has to get monetized. So we're going to have to get monetized. Hello, John Paul. Welcome back. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the the Christmas build, PC build, that is. What we're going to do right now is we're going to have a peeky look at the motherboard, and we're going to have a little talk about it. I'm not rushing the build. Just going to tell you all that right now. I'm going piece by piece to put this together. So make sure you put yourself at least a couple hours aside to make sure you go through this with me, because if this is your first time learning how to build, then basically we're going step by step. So this Christmas build that I'm building, I'm not going to rush through it. And you know how you got 16 minutes, you got people that do 16, 18 minutes of video just to do a build. I'm not doing that. You don't see nothing. You just see little bits and parts of it. You don't see nothing. But if you do it full style and show everybody, you know, what you got going on, maybe be a little bit different. But let's see. You're ready. I'm ready. We're all ready, machine. Just to let you know, we're all ready. Hopefully we get a little bit more in here. But we're going to just go ahead and just jump right in. We're already 7-8 minutes into the build. We're going to go ahead and and we can call, no, I'm not going to call that neither. We're going to have a happy day. You know, if you guys got any questions about any AMD parts or the parts that I'm using today, please leave your comments in the thingy there. We're not going to talk about any of the other companies, just the companies I'm showing you all today about, like Asus, AMD, Corsair, G-Skill, Deep Cool, you know. So we go from there. This way, you know, it's everybody's talking about it. Okay? And guess what? Stop monkeying around, man. Somebody got me this shirt. I had to wear this shirt today just to let you know that I don't want to monkeying around. We all monkey around when it comes to building PCs. I love hardware. Yeah, you're right. The longer the better. I do agree. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my test brand. Gotcha. Appreciate it. Okay. Now, I've already done an unboxing of this, and stop monkeying around. You know, you get your booklet. Don't throw away your user guide. You need your user guide. Okay. Now, all the parts we need, like your Wi-Fi, your back plate. See your back plate. Maybe not these. These right here. Maybe not these right here. We might not need those. But you need the motherboard. That you do need. Need the motherboard. Let's see. We need the I/O shield. We don't need this. We don't need these. Let's see. We don't need these right now. We don't need the M.2 screws. We don't have the M.2 here, so. Okay. Well, pretty much everything we need right now is right here, so we can go from there. We can go from there. So let me go ahead and close this thingy out here. Let me close that up. And I left Discord open. If you guys got anything you want to say on Discord, you can use my Discord as well. You know where it's at. And if you don't, then we'll get you on Discord. I'm sure my loyal subscribers can hook you up with that if they want to. And also, too, I can take that moment in time and get you a link to Discord. Okay? That's where we talk about everything ahead of time. And usually I'll let everybody know what I got coming up in my mind when it comes to live builds and everything else. So make sure you're on Discord as well. Let's go ahead and take this out of the package. Machine, we know you're going to ask a lot of questions. We know that. I expected it. All right. Now I want y'all to understand something. And look at me when I'm telling you this. Okay? This right here, this anti-static bag, don't put it underneath your motherboard. I seen so many people do that. Don't do that. This cardboard box is more safe than this is. My God. I'm going to throw that out the way. Bam. Okay. This cardboard box is more safer than that plastic bag is. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you know what I'm saying about that. Okay. Now, let's take you to the motherboard. Sorry, that's about as close as I can get you to the motherboard. Okay, now, I can start here, you know, putting the processor in and everything else. I could do that, which we can do that right now. Oh my God, and I forgot where I put the processor. No, I didn't. Yeah, the processor's right here. Now, I'm going to show you. This is the processor right here. Oh. There. Ryzen 5 5600X3D. That is the processor that is going in this build. And I know you guys are going to have the question of why I'm not doing an AM5 build. Okay, for the simple fact is this. When prices come down on the AM5 series, which they are sooner or later, then I'll decide to buy into the AM5 series. But for right now, this is what I bought on special from Micro Center. I bought this from Micro Center on a package deal with this motherboard for $339. So for $339, I got this package deal. All right, let me check out the questions before I get started putting the processor in. Ryzen processor, that is. Let's see. I play PC Building Simulator 2 in 1080p. And it slurps 7.6 gigabytes of VRAM. Getting a 56 X3D Europe takes some effort. Yeah, I know, but it's limited. Basically, but now, okay. Now I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this only once, and I want you guys to hear this. They got leaks out about the 5700 X3D and a 5500 X3D from AMD. Those might be what you can get your hands on. Now, if you can get your hands on a 5700 X3D, that would be the best way to go compared to the 5600 X3D. Okay? Save your money, wait for the 5700 X3D to come out, or better yet, save your money for the new processors that are coming out, the 8000 series. Now, they're supposed to have the APUs in the 8000 series, the G series, is supposed to be kicking butt from what I'm hearing. So save up your money because it looks like the AMD's got some new processors coming out in the future. They got the 9000 series and the 8000 series. 9000 series, I'm not sure if they're going to go to a different motherboard, but they might keep on the same platform of AM5, and then after that go to AM6. Not too sure yet. It's kind of up in the air right now. Just to let you know that. So am I saying the 4060 Ti will work then? For what? The 4060, okay. For gaming, you're limited on a certain amount when it comes to the 4060 Ti. Okay? It's not a bad GPU. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not a bad GPU, but it's a GPU I would not recommend, is for the simple fact is I don't think for the price the performance is there. For $500 for the 16 gig of VRAM on the 4060 Ti, I really do not think it's there. But we're not going to be talking about NVIDIA right now. We're still sticking on AMD. How many of you of you all go out and purchase, just to say, a 6800 XT? How many? Or a 6950 XT? Just to say, keep it on the AMD realm. It's an okay GPU for in its class, beginner's class. See, I got 3 classes. I got beginner's class, intermediate class, and advanced class. Okay, now a 4060 Ti is in the beginner's class. Now the 4070 is in the intermediate class. Now your 4080 and 4090 is in your advanced class. So it depends on which class it would be in. Stay with the 4070 machine. You're doing fine. Trust me, in the future, it's going to have a lot of upgradability. Okay? I don't think NVIDIA they haven't done doing their updates yet. They're like not even quarter of the way through. So they're going to have more popular updates. All right, let's talk about the motherboard. Tough Gaming B550 motherboard. Why would I have picked this motherboard? Well, this has got Wi-Fi. Okay. This has got BIOS flashback. Look at the I/O. Simple but effective I/O. 2.5 gigahertz. 2.5 gigahertz on the network card. A 12 plus VRM. PCI 4.0 x16 for your graphics card. 4.0 PCIe for your M.2 drive. And, you know, I want you to understand, you know, with the M.2 drive is this. You have three types. You have an M key, you have a B key, and you have an M plus B key. Okay? If you get a B key, then basically you're limiting yourself. An M key is a different story. It's basically what I use in my PC right now is an M key. For the simple fact it's only got a single slot on the connector. And when you connect it, see, because this right here, let me raise this up. This is where the M.2 slot is. Okay? You put it in an angle, and then you push it down, and there's supposed to be a screw at the back. Down at the bottom of the board, there's supposed to be like a little screw type to where you can screw in the top of that M.2, but do it gently. Do not force that screw down in there, and don't torque it to where you're going to break it. So be careful when you're doing that, by the way. M.2 is very simple to install, you know, because it's a heat spreader. This is a heat spreader. These right here, this is M.2. This is M.2. This is a heat spreader for the coprocessor. This is a heat spreader for the VRMs, right? These right here are for your regular RAM. This is your RAM. Comes in two different colors, a black color and a gray color. Your 24-pin, your 3.0, your SATA slots, and all your I/O connectors. So that's coprocessors. Basically, years ago, what they had had North Bridge and South Bridge. Okay, they had two bridges to where, you know, it goes from one processor to the next, and then you got a controller processor, which, you know, went back and forth and controlled everything. So basically, everything would have ran through that controller, which went up into your processor and then made a complete loop, 360 loop. But what they did now these days is that they took and put this just for your peripherals, like your SATA connection, your USB connection, and your other connections run through this. Your 3.0 M.2 runs through this. Now, your 4.0 runs directly into your processor. So you go from here to your processor. Coprocessor controls all the peripheral stuff that's on the motherboard. And it controls your SATA drives, your storage drives right here. And that's pretty much it. Your fans and stuff controls through your VRM. This is where you get your controls for your VRM. For your fans is through this. So this B550 motherboard seems to be well cooled, capable of handling water cooling, overclocking, or less case air cooling. Capacitors can... Yeah, true. But I already got something similar to this in my PC, which is the B550 ROG Strix. It's the B550A, but it's ROG Strix gaming motherboard. Almost the same, close to the same BIOS. Both are Asus. So, yeah, I mean, VRMs is voltage regulating module. Regulates the power through the motherboard. The VRM does. M.2 M key, M.2 NVMe, B key. Yeah, there's a ton of M.2 drives out there. You just don't want, see, the whole point of this is you don't want to make a mistake and get M.2 SATA drive, plug it in and thinking you're going to get PCIe 4.0 at read speeds at 5,000 megabits per second, and the writes at 5,000 megabits per second, to find out that it's a SATA. You don't want to make that mistake. A lot of people have made that mistake where they turn around and get an M.2 SATA, plug it in, and they're only getting like 200 to 400 megabits per second. And they're like, no way. I've seen it happen before. So, don't make that mistake. Get yourself the correct drive, which I put on Discord for you, machine. I wrote you everything you needed to know about that, my conclusion on that as well. You get an M.2 NVMe M key. It's got a single slot, not the double slotted one, the single slotted one. And the one you showed me and you picked out was perfect. The Crucial P3 Plus 2 terabyte is perfect for what you need to do. So, and that's my point of it. Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. But yeah, I was thinking about getting the P3 myself, the P3 Plus. So, that's a good one. I like that. I'm gonna save that one for the books. We're running MOS FET. No, just kidding. Am I gonna get this out of the box? Y'all let me get this out of the box for 5 whole minutes, man. Come on, man. Don't get bored in there. Come on, man. Okay. Now, this you have to be absolutely careful because it's got pins on the back. See them gold pins? You bend one of those gold pins, you're never going to get it into this motherboard. You're just going to be wasting your time. So when you open the package this way. See where the pins are? The mistake I see everybody make is they open up the package the other way, bend a pin or two, and guess what? You're screwed. Open it up on the back side. Okay. Another thing is, right here. Y'all see this? Right here. Let me bring your attention down here. Right here. You see where this is? The front of the motherboard, always towards the RAM. See the Ryzen letters? Put it right here. Now let me see if I can do it without getting... Ugh. Whoa. Make sure I do a wiggle test. Make sure it's wiggled into the socket, front and back. Close it up. Boom, done. I do it differently than everybody else. I almost had trouble getting that in there, though. Yeah, it won't work with the bent pin. You bend pins on this? It ain't going to work. You'll get a whole bunch of motherboard errors, thinking that you got this wrong, that wrong, this wrong. It's just a bent pin. And it's really hard to bend those pins back. And if you go and break those pins off, then you got to take it and ship it to somebody to have them resolder new pins back on. Then you're screwed. Until you get then you're stuck spending another $50 to $100 trying to get the pins, fixed. So be careful. The B key M.2 uses the same SATA controller interface chips as any other SATA device. Yeah, but the point is the speed. the speed is lower than using the NVMe drive. They're both the same thing. Well, they're both the same thing, but one's faster than the other. Your SATA, you're using it just for strictly storage. But when you're using it for your operating system, you're using it for your gaming and and your everyday use, you don't want to use a SATA drive. You really don't want to use a SATA drive. You want to use one of these NVMe drives. It's a lot better. Trust me. Yep. But that's the thing. Everybody wants to go to AM5 because of that, and everybody's all scared of broken pins and everything else. Look, long as I know that it sits level on four corners, the four corners right here, the four corners. If I know it sits level, it's fine. If it's not sitting level, don't force it. Pull it back out. Look at the pins and just be careful. All right. Now, RAM. Everybody thinks that, let's go to the RAM part of this. SATA is basically, how can I say this? SATA is more or less like your regular plattered hard drives back years ago. They would last longer for the simple fact you're just using it to store your data. You're not using it for, everyday use. Like using it to get in and out of your programs and everything else. It's just basically backup, your backup drive. I don't like using SATA anymore. Well, I do use SATA for the fact of, storing videos and stuff like that so they don't get all screwed up with, digital drive, like your NVMe and stuff like that. Because the life expectancy on a hard drive is a lot more than it is on an NVMe or a SSD SATA drive. You get a lot. That's how you basically, you keep yourself out of that hot water. Those hard drives still have their uses, so don't count them out just yet. But that's not the way we're going here today now, is it? I know this motherboard works because I've already tested it, done a video on it. So I'm sure y'all will find the video somewhere in there. If I find the video, I'll post it, Ugh. I'm taking it carefully out of the package, people. You don't want to break that right there. These right here, you don't want to break this. Okay, now putting this into here, you want to measure your slot up. Okay, start from your 24 right here, your 24 pin connector. Match it in. Done. Now take your next one. Go into not the next drive, not the next connection, but the next slot. And boom. Done. Okay, now Your RAM is inserted, your processor's inserted. Now it's ready to go inside your case. Any questions? You broke pins on your memory modules. What? How can you break the pins? I don't get it. Well, look at it. Okay. To get the full bandwidth of your memory modules, your RAM modules, every two of these slots are considered as one channel. So you got your first channel and you got your second channel. Well, basically this close to the processor. This is your first channel and this is your second channel. So what you're doing is you're populating one channel and you're populating the second channel. So you're populating both channels to get the full effects from your processor. Now, if you put them together, you're not going to get but one channel. So you want both channels populated. And it's best to use 2 than 4, because if you use 4, then it divides it by 2. When it comes to the speed of your RAM, it'll divide it by 2, and then you'll turn around and you'll run a little bit slower. But yeah, unless you turned it around this way and you push down on it, yeah, that would break the memory module because it's got that little pin. Look. See, because it's got that little key right there, that key. So if you put it in the wrong way and you push down on it, yeah, you're gonna bust it. You're gonna bust the the slot, and you're gonna bust the module. Don't force it, and that's why they say don't force it in. Do not force it in. Can you put it in another channel and it will work the same? Well, the motherboard might be fussy, but if you move these to the front two, or you put them together or something, motherboard might be fussy with you. You might get sudden crashes. I've heard people getting sudden crashes, blue screened, if that's what you're wondering. If you do it right and you go first slot right here, not this slot, but the second, go one, skip one to the next. And if you do it this way, just follow what your motherboard manufacturer says. Okay? If your motherboard manufacturer says put them together, for one, both channels, then put them together for both channels. But if they're saying go one and then skip a channel and then go to the next, then that's what they're saying to do. Just follow the recommendations. Oh, IDE, forget it. Oh my God. You want to talk about a nightmare. IDE is a nightmare, especially with Windows 95. That was a complete disaster. Thank God those days are over, guys. Thank God those days are over. I'm just saying that because I'm glad they're over. Now, the way computers are, after they did the operating system for Windows 10, what am I missing? After they did the operating system for Windows 10, right? That was the biggest plus in the world, because if you're using Windows 7, Windows 7 or below, The problem with that is you would have driver issues. You would have so many issues. It was a nightmare. From Windows 7 down was a nightmare. So, yeah, but they always recommend you do 2 and 4. They always recommend you do 2 and 4. You're doing, this is a, wait a minute, hold on. A0, A1, B0, B1. Sorry, my bad. This is 1. No, this is 0. This is 1. Let's just say this is 1. This is 2. And this is 1, and this is 2. Okay. Doing it off from 1 and 3, let's say 1 and 3, doing it here and here, these two, it's not really going to be harming anything, but the way the structure of the motherboard is, they structured it, and that's the reason why they color-coded these two different than the black ones. And they color-coded it gray, was because they wanted you to use these 2 slots. Because that's where they put most of their focus in when it comes to the RAM. That's where, they're your bread and butter, you're right there. But if you're using it in the other 2 slots, that's like basically plugging in secondary. Like a backup drive, let's just say. But they wanted your focus on 2 and 4 is because that's where, they have everything connected into is 2 and 4. IDE and SCSI is just is the older terms like, SATA. It's just a new term. That's all it is. So, okay, guys, we're not getting any further. My God, what time? We started 42 minutes ago. We haven't even got past the motherboard yet. What's going on with this? Oh my God. Okay. Now that you got this done right here, and when I get the M.2 drives, I'll show you guys, and I'll put them in, and we'll go through the whole spiel of Windows, either Windows 10 or Windows 11, and we'll go from there. Today we're just doing the build, make sure we can fire it up, but the next video that I will show you going into the operating system and setting up the computer, because I don't have the M.2 drive for today. And that was very shameful, with Amazon. And Amazon's at fault. So, and I do apologize for Amazon being at fault. Because I ordered all the parts at the same time, and they didn't send it at the same time, obviously. All right. Set your motherboard off to the side. Set your box off to the side. Set your garbage off to the side. Your books and everything else. Get your area nice and cleaned. Make sure that you got, enough room to work in, to get the case up there. Sorry about that. Let me move things around. Make sure you got enough room to work to build in your case, so that way, and enough lighting, because you don't want to work blind, especially when you're working inside of the case. You want to have some good lighting when you're working inside the case. keep all your parts on hand. We'll keep this out. We need this. I had to double check and make sure we needed that. And yes, thank you, John Paul, for putting out that information. That is appreciated. Keeps me in check. Okay, there's two ways I can do this. Here, let's kind of look at my face a little bit. There's two ways we can do this. One, I can install the AIO first, or I can install the motherboard already decked out, ready to go, into the case, and then do the AIO. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and put the motherboard in the case, and then I'm going to do the AIO. Because I think trying to fit things around is going to be a, kind of a travesty kind of thing, But that's just my thought. Y'all can leave your thoughts. I'm looking at your thoughts. Yep, motherboard will tell you the manual, or I like to have the manuals on hand though, really. For that simple reason of the RAM and stuff like that. Having a book on hand, if you can't find it online, is really good. I'm glad that Asus takes the time to put the books in with the motherboard. And I'm just going to say that, guys. When I got the Asus Tough here, motherboard, the book was in there. I'm happy about that. That is a really good thing because it tells you about your RAM. It tells you about all your connections that are on your motherboard that you need to connect to the front panel, stuff like that. And yeah, I will look in the book myself if I need to look into the book, if it's a different style motherboard. Now, Asus, on the other hand, I'm kind of familiar with it, so it doesn't really bother me that much. Yeah, and believe it or not, the configurations that they do on these motherboards when they're testing them, is in this configuration. So this is the way I set my configurations up. Unless I'm using all four channels, this is my only next configuration that I use. I will not use single stick. Never. I've tried that once before, and a 116 gig stick, and it was a nightmare. It's like it was stuttering and everything else. And then you put two sticks in, guess what? It seems like it springs to life, But I really like this motherboard. This motherboard is really nice. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. I like the one I got too. It looks really good too. But, another thing is, I want to tell you all this. Okay, just don't think because they're getting this AM4 series that they don't have upgradability for AM5 series. They're getting a 1,000-watt power supply. They're getting an up-to-date graphics card. The only thing they would have to switch out, would be is the RAM, the processor, and the motherboard. If they wanted to go to the AM5 series, there is upgradability to this. They got the right case. They'll have everything on the right side of it. So, just to give you that idea. 2 channels is most common with consumer CPUs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ryzen 7 5800 X3D is very common configuration for what people want to buy. Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, it is. Well, this one here is usually a common one. Everybody wants the X3D. That's the thing. Everybody wants to use the X3D. You know, everybody wants to use the X3D. See? X3D. Everybody wants to use it because the amount of L3 cache it has is just insane. You know, it's just insane. So basically, I kind of got a 5800X 3D, kind of, but, you know, kind of. Let's see, it's cheaper to buy 4 times 1 or 2 times 2. Yep, I agree with that 100%. When it comes to RAM, it's either you do 2x2, but make sure they're double-sided. And, you know, you don't want to do you can do a 1x2, and you can do a 2x2. You can do a 2x4. You know, you can do many of things. Yeah, but not a lot of people are going to run 64 gigs or 128 gigs of RAM. You know, not right now. They're not. This motherboard right here, this right here, this G skill is going to be 32 gigs of RAM. 32 gigs. And they'll be damned if they ever use the 32 gigs within the next 10 years. Because most of your processors, you know, like the AM4 series, are only going to use maybe up to 12 to 16. And that's it. The most I have ever used out of mine was 12 to 16 gigs of RAM. That's it. And that's including the operating system. That includes the operating system. Hear that. And stop monkeying around, man. Anyway, let's get on with the build. Let's get the case. And y'all get to see my big butt get out of the chair. Oh, my God. And go get the case. Well, actually, no. I can reach for the case. So, I'll get the case. I'll get it out of the box, and let's go from there. See? Big old box. Okay. Let me struggle with it and get it out of the box. And next year, when I go get ready to do another build, I'm going to have the table spot and the camera spot and everything else so you all can see me unbox this crap. You know, I mean, it's crazy. I'm very happy with my 192 gigabyte of memory AM5 system. I used a single memory kit by Corsair, which has a 4x4 8 gigabyte matching modules that are designed to all go extra speed. Well, you know what? That's cool. That is cool. Yeah. Me, on the other hand, I got 64 gigs. I got four sticks in my system, and I manually set them to run at 3200 megahertz with CL16, and that's 64 gigs. What people don't understand is you can manually program your BIOS to use it and run it at 3200 megahertz. And you ask yourself this question: why am I using 3200 megahertz? Why am I not using 36 or 4400 megahertz? Nobody asked me that question yet. Yeah, but nobody asked me the question, why ain't I running 4400 megahertz? At what, CL21 or something like that? If I remember right, Gamers Nexus and Hardware Unbox, they did a test on 3200 megahertz and 3600. They did a test on 32 and 36. There was only a 1% difference. 1% difference between the 32 and 3600. 1%. So I'm going to sit there and spend an extra, what, 40 or 50 bucks. 40 or 50 bucks getting that 1%. It's not worth the price. You tell me, is it worth the price? Is it worth me spending that kind of money when I can get almost equal to the same performance off of the 3200? Doesn't make sense. You know. Well, it's just my opinion. This is the way I run my system. When people tell me that, they look at me gaming and stuff, how am I getting the FPS I'm getting? Well, that's because I know how to run my system. AM4, not AM5. AM4 system. AMD AM4 system. Not AM5. Fight with the bag. Okay, time to move the motherboard around. Yeah, we'll get it out the way. This way we can bring in the big honker of the show. Oh, God damn. Oh, they didn't say being 50 ain't nice. Ugh. Okay. Whoa, shit. Let me get it on the table. Oh, Lordy. Sorry. This is the case. This is the Mystique. Glass. What do you all think? Y'all tell me. Well, it's because of my creator work and everything else. I use 64 gigs of RAM. So, creator work's not, not as easy on your PC as you playing games. Okay. Now, with you playing games is a lot different than, the amount of detail you got to use for texturing and everything else when it comes to playing games like that, that would require a lot of CPU usage for, to master that game. But most of your games now these days, it's 3/4 of the games that out there is all GPU, not much CPU. That's the reason why I undervolted my CPU. Is because my CPU does not require that much power that it needs to have that extra power running for no reason. And then it causes more heat. And that's what you don't want from your processor, to heat up your case, cause you to thermal throttle and everything else. That's why I undervolt. Alrighty. This is a beastie case, man. Jeez. This is a beast. Yep, this is Mustex. If you don't know what it means, and it's spelled like this, Musetex. I think this is a P2. Something like that. Let me set the glass over there. And let me get this apart. This is the second bit of the, thing here. Let me move this over here. ASRock and MSI just recently starting allowing 256 gig on their main board. Yeah, I seen that too. I seen a couple people talking about that, to where they're they're going from the 192 to the 256, something like that. But that's under a BIOS update too for your motherboard. Do remember that. Haven't heard anything about Asus doing it yet, so that is in question if Asus is going to allow that to do that. So I'm sorry. Now for the mainstream PCs. Well, you know what? This is my first build in transparent. Okay, I usually build it in the normal cases, but this one has a bigger footprint. And I looked at this case and said, okay, it comes with, now get this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans. 6 fans. You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that. These thumb screws. This case comes with thumb screws. Look at this. The case comes with perfect thumb screws. How many cases out there that come with perfect thumb screws? There isn't. Okay. So now, look at the back plate. See this right here? Where these two fans are, let me turn this around. Where these two fans are, this is going to allow the air to come through. Outside to the in. And this was a good point that was brought up to me. Are these reverse fans? That was a good point that was brought up to me. And unfortunately, no, they're not. So, for now, I'm going to have to rely on the fans that are up here, but I'm putting fans down here too. Okay? Understand, I'm putting fans down here too. So it's going to have fans here. It's going to have the AIO cooler here with the fans. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fans. Can't beat it. So 9 fans, can't beat that. Reverse fans, when I get my hands on them, then I'll take and get this case, and then I'll replace the fans with reverse fans. Because I want 2 reverse fans here, and I want 3 reverse fans here. These fans are in the right direction. This fan is in the right direction. It's just this one, and these 3 are going to be in the wrong direction. So, it doesn't matter. I mean, we'll fix it. We'll fix it in time. Okay, we'll fix it in time. So, Deep Cool. These are the Deep Cool fans that come with the AIO that are going to be right up underneath on the AIO. So these are going to be on top. These are going to be exhausting air out. So these 3 fans that are up here that came with the case are going to go down on the bottom. So it's going to be like a little flip-flop kind of thing. And they give you a little dust cover. Look at this, little dust cover. And this is magnetic. Do yourself a favor. Do not put it next to your hard drives. Do not put it next to your motherboard. Okay? Try to keep a safe distance because it's magnetic. So keep magnetic things away from your PC. Something they did a long time ago, they told us never to put a magnet next to your PC. I could put a 240 on the side, but I think with the airflow coming in, that's more important than the airflow going out, if that makes sense to you. Airflow coming in, you want the airflow to go like this. You want it nice and steady airflow. Okay. Now, if you don't have a nice steady airflow, then your case is going to heat up to 80 some degrees, and then you're going to have big problems. So, and this is the case. If you go and look online, this is the case right here. This is what I'm using today for this build, is right here. Some people say positive pressure is good. Some people say negative pressure is better. Some people say, back and forth, back and forth. I say not too much positive pressure, but not too much negative pressure as well. If you got a nice even airflow going through your case, even airflow, all components will stay at a certain degree. You'll never have a heating issue. The only reason you have heating issues is for the simple fact that you didn't set up your case correctly. So that's what starts the heating issue. So that's what we're not going to have today. We're not going to have a heating issue. So that's the elimination part of it. And these are your front AIO connectors. Your front IO connectors, I mean. So, you got your power section. You got your RGB, ARGB, and you got your fans. You got more connectors. This is for your headphones. This is for USB Type C. This is for USB. Now, you know what's cool about this? This case, look at this. It's got two wires going into the 3.0 section. So on the front, you got USB 3.0 in both connectors. So that's even better. Yeah, but I'm not going to complain about the AIO. The AIO is only pulling like 4.5 watts and say 5 watts total. With the fans and everything else, it's only pulling 5 watts. That's not really doing that much. I can't complain about it. I mean, 5 watts is 5 watts. I mean, it is what it is. Hey, my current PC case is air cooled. I don't have an AIO in that yet. I have not put an AIO cooler in my case yet. So. Yeah, but you can't rely on static pressure. Okay. Yeah. No. Not 30 watts. This AIO does not even use, like I said, 5 watts. I've already looked at the wattage that was on it and the fans and everything else and did my total assessment, and it's only 5 watts. So I was happy with that. Yep, the PSU has its own fan, which is correct. It has its own fan, man. That goes on the bottom. That goes blowing out of the bottom of the case. So you don't. That's something that the power supply is totally a separate animal when it comes to cooling compared to your graphics card and comes to your processor on your motherboard. It's totally a different animal. I'm kind of glad that they got a separator piece in between the two, so that way most of your heat is directed down and out, other than going up and through where your motherboard is. That's kind of a bad thing. All right, enough talking, some more working so y'all can see me doing something. I do like the case. Look at this. Look at this. They got some nice old straps up in here. This case is, I mean, for $100, really? 6 fans, straps all over the place. Even, look. Well, if they wouldn't have tightened that so much, you know. Damn. That's okay. That's what the screwdriver's for. So. Brand new. You can't expect it not to unscrew correctly. Look at this. 2.5. 2.5 on a knurl. I mean, come on, man. You can put your 2.5s in the back, you know, on some knurl screws. Not a problem. Now on the bottom, you can fit a 3.5 down here. Where my hand is, you can fit a 3.5 down here. But they're not going to be using that right now, so it's just sitting there. In the future, they could use it. So, all right. So, this is a mess. Oh my God. This is a mess. Wow. This is a super big mess. Okay, so, wow. Let's see. Let's undo the twist ties. Let's undo the twist ties, guys. Okay, now, that's for your fans above. Let me separate everything. Here's your fans. Here's your side fans. Yes, I'm doing it backwards a little bit. I should have put the motherboard in first. Yeah, I know. But I want to see where our connections are first. Okay. Well, nice. So, if you want to daisy chain your fans, there you go. So now, this becomes one big old block. Now all the fans are connected. You can connect these together. You can connect into one. I think they got an adapter for this. I have to look for the adapter. So they got an adapter for this. They got an adapter for this. So you only need 2 big adapters with your motherboard. Yeah, figure. All right. Looking good so far. Okay, case is looking good. Case is looking good. Point blank. Okay, now the matter of the motherboard's going to go in. Make sure your cables are out of the way, guys. Make sure your cables are out of the way. Because one thing you don't want to do is snag the case underneath your motherboard. Because the motherboard has very sharp... The motherboard has very sharp points in the back, right? Very sharp points. You do not want to get your cables and trapped in between those. You'll short your stuff out really quick. So, my opinion, don't do it. Okay, let's see. What's missing? We got that one, that's okay. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so okay. Second thing you do is line up your motherboard to the knurls that's inside. We'll set it right there. See, you got these right here, these mounts that you mount your motherboard on, right? You want to make sure that they're in the right holes so you don't mount this up and have one of these pushing and shorting out your motherboard. Make sure they're all in the right connective holes. And also, too, don't forget your I/O shield. I didn't forget mine. I was measuring my motherboard. When a case is this good, only the case modding community individuals can possibly think we are noobs. You're right. But when I get things all squared away here, who's to say I'm not going to modify a case? Point blank. I can modify cases. This ain't my first rodeo. I've had to modify many cases to fit many motherboards, fit many systems, and, you know, this isn't my first rodeo. I just wanted to do a build that's a Christmas build and do it for the end of the year. So, now, which one of y'all can tell me which way this goes? Which one of y'all can tell me which way the I/O shield goes? I'll give you a hint. Always point your sound modules towards your graphics cards. Always point the sound modules towards your graphics cards. This is the way you want to put it in. Right here. I was just waiting to see who was going to sound off on it, though. That I was waiting to see who's going to sound off on it. Not unless this damn thing doesn't want to fit right. Wow. This is the right way, so. Don't ask me. This is a different case. Usually they snap in. Usually these things snap in, but this one ain't snapping in for some reason. Come on. Give me a minute. I know how to put these damn things in. It's just why this is not going in is beyond me. Okay, discrete graphics card. I didn't mean graphics card. I meant discrete graphics card. You know, down here towards the bottom. Down towards the bottom. Always points down towards the bottom. Now I can sit here for the next 10 minutes sitting there messing with this I.O. shield and embarrassing myself because I can't get the goddamn thing in here. Not unless they built something I didn't know. I don't know. It's supposed to fit in here. Any ideas? Yep, always towards the bottom. And I'm not getting out the manual. For some reason, the I.O. shield just does not want to fit in this case. We'll work it in slowly and see what I'm missing. And it's in until it falls out. Okay. Now that I'm done screwing around with the I.O. shield, we'll fix that up later. I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, now, going through the screws. Did I embarrass myself enough, everybody? Thank you. Okay. Don't be scared if you got 50 million screws. You just got to determine which screws go where. You know, these little baby screws are your motherboard screws. Now I got to pick out 8 of them. Sometimes motherboards will give you 9 of them. So, that's not it. I like having fun like this, guys. Really, I really do. I mean, this is awesome. You know, having you all here has been an awesome time. You know, and yeah, I know this is taking me longer than usual, but you know what? When you're building a PC, you're never in a rush. When you're in a rush, you make mistakes, and you really don't want to make mistakes. And I'm not going to make any mistakes. So. Look, let's talk about VCR tapes now. How many of you all are back in the day used to use a VCR or an 8-track? Let's talk about that. Yeah, I already did. I already checked all the spacers. That I already did. That's the reason why I put the motherboard there and I took it back out, was because I was measuring the spacers to make sure they're in the right sections. Yeah, I already know that. I'm not going to let that happen. No way, Jose. Too much money to blow it up, just for a stupid mistake. So, and yes, I got all 8 of my screws. I didn't say I had all these screws. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 screws, 8 screws. Be careful. You don't want to screw yourself. Not literally. Oh, yeah. I remember that. But remember one thing. Static energy only moves through an object that's connected to ground. Keep that in mind. So, yes, I'm looking to make sure this motherboard sits correctly. Which it's not setting up correctly. I just got to see why. Okay. Let's see. That's setting incorrectly. It's that damn I/O shield, man. It's the damn I/O shield. How many times have I went through I/O shields and I've had to do this? How many times have I had to go through I/O shields bending these pins down? Because they're stuck out too far. And I know they're supposed to give a little bit of pressure when it comes to the back of the I/O shield. But, it's just plain ridiculous, though. Ow. Okay. Now, I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to lay it on my stomach, and I'm just going to go at it. So, alrighty. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, now another thing too is when you're screwing in your motherboard, do not tighten all the screws all the way until you got all the screws in first. Something nobody ever says to you, because when you're trying to line up your motherboard and you screw them in all the way, what happens is you won't get the screws in. Oh my god. I don't know why this thing has a hard time lining up. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to take and turn this around and see what's going on. Okay. Problem is the bias flashback button was getting stuck. Ay. Now everything's lined up. Ugh. Awesome. Awesome. Just took that one screw to get everything all lined up. That's all it took. Yes, I'm lining up all the screws. Like 2 dozen. Any IO shield has for, you know. Yeah, which is true. Which is true. IO shields just always have their quirks. They don't want to line up correctly and everything else. So, you know, it takes a little bit of fussing, but you'll get it in there. A little bit of fussing, not much. And don't get mad if you can't get it in the first time putting that shield in. As if you can't, then best for you to go back to the VHS tapes and the 8-tracks. If you can't get it in there. Right now I've already lined up the motherboard. So I'm adding in the screws. I know you guys can't see me putting in the screws. Oh my god. Yeah. Lose a screw. There we go. Remember Sony released the Walkman. Yeah, true. They did release the Walkman. You know, I had one of those. I busted maybe on the ground, maybe about 17 of them. 17 or 20 of them, somewhere in between there. Those were the cheapest made plastic. You know what I mean. They were just, back in the day, everybody had to have one, but now they got MP3s out and all that. And I remember back in the day when they never had internet too. How many of y'all got back in the day about not having any internet? How many? How many of y'all back in the day you didn't have internet? Oh, did you remember back then when computers first started coming out on cassette tapes? That crazy or what? Oh, need my other screwdriver. Need my other screwdriver. See, if y'all are wondering, this is the way I do work on PCs, but not like this, but so don't torque your screws down, just enough to where they're snug. You don't want to torque them down to where you crack your motherboard. That has been done before. Alrighty. Whew. Looks like we got that in there. There, look at that. See? Motherboard's in. IO shield. Something tells me I'm going to have to reset the BIOS on this. I might. I'm not sure. Because I accidentally hit the BIOS flashback button. But it might not due to the fact I didn't have any power connected to it. So that might be a plus in my book. We'll see what happens when it comes to the time. So now I have to figure out how I want the fans. That's my next thing. I got to figure out how I want these fans. These two, I got to figure out if I want to turn them around and pull air in. Or do I want the bottom to pull air and this to push out air? Or this back fan's gonna push air out this way. So now I got to figure out if I want to pull air from down here, which, yeah. See, if I look at it like this, there's no heat, there's no it's not open on the top, so the power supply goes like this in here in the back, so it's pointing down, so I can pull from here air to go up, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Screw with the confidence. It's recommended to be gentle. We call it and solid. Which is true, my man. Which is true. 5 1/4 inch, 3.5 inch. I'm reading back, guys. Do give me a moment. In school, living in years. In old barracks. Yeah. Where schools back then years ago were like concentration camps and everybody was afraid they were going to get bombed. Yeah, okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I kind of thought that too, John Paul. Yeah, I kind of thought that too. As long as there's no power, there's nothing in the USB, it shouldn't affect it. You're right. So, you know what I could do? I don't know. What do you guys think? What should I do with these fans? Should I take I know, here, let me move that. I know I don't have reversible fans. You know, what do you all think? Should I pull it from the bottom? The air from the bottom? But I'm not sure if the air is going to be warm air or cold air from the bottom. I'm not sure if it's actually going to pull that actual cold air from the bottom. Because, you know, you got to figure the back of the cover, the back of the case, it's got a cover on it. And the least path of resistance. Okay, least path of resistance. You have to keep that in mind. The cold air will flow at least path of resistance. It's just like electricity. Okay, we have to take that in consideration. Yeah, Wi-Fi 2. Wow. Yeah, now we're up to Wi-Fi 7. What do y'all think about that? You know, starting from 2.4 to Wi-Fi 7. I'm like, really? Come on, man. See? Come on, man. Okay. Guys, this is going to be my decision. I know this is probably going to look ugly as hell. I know, but you only can see these fans are plastic. You only can undo them and redo them so many times before they wear out, and guess what happens? Boom. You know, you got to stick a piece of paper in there just to tighten down the screws and this and that, you know. I have to make a decision. I'm kind of left at that well, I'm trying to go for the best positive airflow that I can get without jeopardizing the negative airflow that has to flow through. So, the best positive airflow. Shoot. All right. Yeah, that's true. You do need that for elevation. Oh, don't even throw him in there, man. Don't even throw him in there. Oh, my God. No. We already have enough nightmares on our hands. We already go to bed and sleep to be having gas price nightmares. Oh, my God. It's bad we got graphics card nightmares, you know, but now we got to have gas price nightmares. It's like you go to the pump every other day just to get yourself $20 in gas, which only gets you 2 gallons. I mean, come on, man. See? Come on, man. So that's something to think about, you know. I mean, it's just it kind of twists your panties a little bit tight, you know. My opinion. So, but yeah, he did. I've seen that. I don't like that because you got to understand. If you got a hot case and it's a heated case, that metal is going to continue to be at that certain degree of temperature, and it's going to keep the inside of that case at that certain degree of temperature. With plastic, on the other hand, it dissipates the heat a lot faster than metal does. So keep that in mind. Oh, you don't want to know what gas is here. Oh, no. You better, I'll tell you. How about I'll tell you? About maybe $5.40 a gallon? How about that? When everybody's paying like 3 something a gallon, we're paying like $5.40 a gallon. Some places are paying almost $7 a gallon. And that's crazy. If you got a moped, you can get away with using less gas. If I had a moped that goes 25 miles an hour and gets me back and forth from the store to the house, and I've only burned like maybe one full gas can full a week, then yeah, I could say, $20 would be worth it. But in a car that sucks up that 6-cylinder, forget it. Gas prices are like through the roof. Even some of the gas stations stopped selling diesel fuel because diesel fuel was up over $6. That's crazy. Okay, configurations of the fan. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to try something. I'll leave these as exhaust. Pour the bottom as intake, the top as exhaust, and the back as exhaust. But there's a problem. There's a big problem. These 3 fans are going to be overwhelmed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans. 3 versus 6. The fan down at the bottom are going to be overwhelmed. It's going to have a screwy airflow. Didn't think about it. So, now I got that point of decision. Now I have to think about it again and look at the fans. Look at the side fans right here. So, who knows? Well, see, Dan, the thing is this. I'm just using the fans that come with this case. Okay? Just the fans that come with the case and the fans that come with the AIO. Because when you buy your case and you got your fans in there, this is what you get. So, but what I want to do, my problem is that if I put 3 fans at the bottom, one, you got your graphics card right here. That's one problem. You got your graphics card right here that will restrict 25% of the uplift airflow. You'll get 25% restriction here. And then you got to look at right here in the center where most of the heat is because of your coprocessor right here. You got your VRMs right here. You got the heat coming off of your RAM, and then you got the heat coming out of your M.2. You got all this heat right here in the center. So, and if I got restriction here going up, and then another restriction with the AIO cooler, with the fins of the AIO cooler going up, then I'm going to need more positive airflow than I am negative. So these 2 fans, I got to turn around. No other choice. That's the decision. So I had to think that one out really quick. What do you all think? Am I right about this or am I wrong about this? So, if I had the Thermaltake reversible fans, yeah, that would be a different story. But I really don't. That would have been nice with the reverse fan blades. Then you just pop the fan blade off and put the new one on, and then you got reverse fan blades. Yeah, that would be awesome to have those. I've seen everybody do videos on them, and it's like, wow. It's like, really? Oh my goodness. Well, the way the fans are set up right now is there's too much exhaust set up on the fans. There's way too much exhaust. So basically, you're going to have a negative airflow. So what I'm doing is I'm reversing it by changing these two center fans to intake fans. So by changing it to an intake instead of an exhaust, that should put a little bit more positive airflow back into the case, especially with the GPU being down at the bottom, causing a restriction of airflow going upwards. Because, you know, the fans on the GPU are pulling the air in and they're going out through the back. So you're losing some of that airflow going out the back. So now I'm switching these up. They'll work a long time. I can see that. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. So am I wrong about that? I mean, if I took these two centers, switched them around, and have them pulling air in, wouldn't that be better or no? These are not reversible. You gotta change the fans and okay. The way these fans work, if I took this fan right here, it was right like this, right? The fan's like this. I have to take the fan and turn it around. Now the airflow is coming inwards. Now the airflow is coming inwards when I do this right here. And I change. See, now with these right here, the air is coming in. Before, the air is going out. So you want the air coming in. Because of the restriction right here, there's a restriction because of the graphics card. And the air's got to go up and around like this, but the fans that are on the graphics card are pulling air and going out this way. They're going air and out this way. So it's taking a percentage of the air out this way, and you're only getting a little percentage here coming up. But, you know, you're talking about medium heat airflow, but now in the back of the case, there's holes in the back of the case that will allow you to suck air into the case. Instead of sucking in from the back of the case, it'll suck from the outside in and allow that flow to come in through these fans right here, which will allow the air to come in and jet out here and here. And that's where you want it to jet, here and here. Come out this way, come out the top and come out the back. So. Look at them. Okay. I'm going to look. I'm going to look because you said make sure I have a look. Hey, good eyeball if you know you're catching me on this, good eyeball. So, okay. I'm going to unplug the fan. I unplugged the fan. Really? How did I not catch that? Good eye, Dan. Good eye. How did I not... Holy... How did I not catch that? How did I not catch that? Okay. So I just unscrewed that for no reason. Let's screw it back in. Good eye, Dan. Good eye. Good catch. Wow. I did not even look at that. Oh my God. I did not even look at that. Oh. Well, damn. See, now for $100, this case made it even better. Am I wrong? This case has become better now. Wow. That's not bad for $100 then. Oh. Yep, I agree, John Paul, I agree. You know, the thing is, I never had a case yet until now that actually had reversible fans. This is amazing. This is something I did not expect. Wow. Did not expect that out of the gate. Didn't expect this out of the gate for $100. No. You know how much reversible fans are right now? They're crazy amounts. Never had side fans yet. My biggest desktop GPU yet was Profile A6. Yeah, believe it or not, I've always used the front mounts. You know, when it comes to with cases, I never used one of these. This is different for me using this case. So it's like more or less like an exploration, really. So, and we're exploring together. Hey, if I make mistakes, look, I'm only human, right? And I tell everybody this time and again, we're only human, we make mistakes, and if we make mistakes, we fix it and we move on. Okay? So, yeah, I didn't look at the fans carefully, and somebody told me, hey, I respect that. I have mad respect for that person telling me, hey, you know, you did this wrong. Maybe if you look at it again, you would see the difference. I'm like, okie dokie. I made one boo-boo. Did not realize the fans were reversed. Hey, I'm a big person. I can admit to the fact of if I make a mistake. Like I told you all, I'm not cutting and drying anything. If I make a mistake, you see it, you're going to let me know about it. You know, simple as that. So, all right, moving on. Moving on. Down the road right now. Now we got to look at the fans up there and bring them down. This is the next trial and error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the fans in the back. Okay, that fan goes there. This fan goes there. Okay, this fan goes there. Okay, this fan goes there. Okay, I had to disconnect the fans. First mistake I don't want to make is drop the fans, and guess what? You break the connectors. I'd rather play it safe than break the connectors. So now We'll edge this a little bit right here, and we'll start taking down the fans. Oh, of course. I mean, some people, what they do is they, you got a problem going on, and then they just want to come in to make the problem worse. Instead of fixing the problem and moving on and being happy about it, somebody corrects my work, that's fine. I got no problem with that. Look, we're only human. We make mistakes and we learn from it. And if somebody else corrects you, it doesn't mean that, it has nothing to do about knowledge. It's just something you don't see in common sense. I mean, it was right in front of me. I didn't see it. Somebody caught it. Hey, mad respect. I appreciate it. I didn't even catch it. I wouldn't think that a case like this, being at $100, they would have put reversible fans in there. But that's awesome, though. At least somebody saved me an extra, what, $150 for reversible fans? Much appreciated. See, there's a fine line to everything around the corner. There's always a silver lining. And it's the matter of just having fun, enjoying life, and, be happy about it. Put these fans over there. Look, I like having fun, guys. I really do. I like having fun. I'm not the best, taking out these screws. Yeah, I know. I should have had electric screwdriver. But I'm doing it by hand. I'm doing it by hand. And I have to take these fans out in order to put the AIO in. So, moving forward. Hopefully y'all are sticking with me on this. I know it doesn't seem like it's, much fun or any. Don't lose the screws. Do not lose the screws. Okay. Oh, got my screw. Got my screws. Look, I take my time because I want to make sure that I'm not making mistakes. I made one mistake so far. I got many to go. So, I gotta remember to get me a 2.2. This number 2 isn't really that great. I gotta get me a 2.2. So this way it fits in the screw and it doesn't, jiggle loose. I know. More tools for the fashion. What tools I need, this and that. Let's go back here. When you're taking the screws out, do it in a crisscross fashion. This way you don't put any pressure on the one side and break it off. And the reason why I'm holding my hand up here is so that way the screws don't break off an ear that's on the fan. You don't want to break your ears off of your fan. So, you don't want to break the sockets out of here. Right here. You don't want to break those sockets up. You want to be very careful when you're doing these. Okay. So, now let's make sure these are exhaust fans. These are exhaust fans. Yay. Now we're to the point of... Alrighty. Now we're to the point of putting the AIO in. Let's see how far that goes. Yeah, of course. Of course. Look, when I'm doing builds, right? No matter if I'm right or wrong, there's no wrong way of doing computers. And this is what people don't understand. Now these days, with the way motherboards are and stuff like that, unless you're that crazy to where you mix AMD, you take an AMD motherboard and you put an Intel processor in there, that's the only way you can get it wrong. AMD will follow AMD. Intel will follow Intel. NVIDIA will follow NVIDIA. So when it comes to building, there's no right or wrong way. Depending on if you're going to take, and say your motherboard has a 4-stage VRM, and you take a processor like a 8-core 16-thread, and you put it in that motherboard, not to say if you undervolt it, it'll work. But if you overvolt it, you're going to kill the VRMs on that motherboard. Because your 8-core 16-thread is designed between a 10 and 12 stage, not between a 4 and 8 stage. Just keep that in mind. You think I'm wrong? Look it up. So, okay. Now, let's get, without breaking stuff, let's get to the liquid cooler. Put this over here. Let's unbox this. Let's unbox this. I've unboxed this already on a different video, so I'm just going to unbox it right now again. Alrighty. So, let's take this. We'll throw it out of the way. Done. Don't lose your screws, because you're going to need your screws for your case. Keep all your screws off to the side. Okay, fans, deep cool fans. Okay, so I'm leaving the deep cool fans with the radiator. I'm not switching them out for the Mustique fans. No way, sir. Oh, okay. Let me read back a little bit. So I'm going to stop for a minute. I'm going to read back and I'm going to answer some of your questions. Never had side fan yet. Slap powered, only 75 watts. Well, look at it this way. This is something new where you do have side fans. It ain't no different from having fans here. They're just put over here. Instead of having 360 here, you got 240 here. That's kind of restrictive a little bit, but I would rather have a case that has 360, which they do make them on the side, 360 on the side if you got the glass front, and you got 3 at top, 1 on bottom, you got 3 on top, 1 in the back, you got 3 at bottom, 2 in the back, you're fine. It's 1 extra fan for more airflow. So, but you have to look at the positive and negative pressure of it all. You have to figure what your graphics card, how many fans your graphics card's got, which this one's got 2 3/4. For some reason, they didn't want to put 3 full-size ones on there. But you got all this airflow back here, down here, up top here, in the back, and on the side. On the side, in the back. More airflow than you ever need. So, only difference is it's not in the front of the case. Only difference. Oh, dropping more boxes. Okay. When you take it out of the case, be very careful. Don't damage your stuff. You got your book in here. I suggest with this AIO cooler, you read the book. Okay. This is the first time me, using this air cooler. So I did, on the other one, I did read how this works. This right here, this is AMD. I mean, Intel, sorry. This is your AMD. So, if you're wondering. I don't need the book because I already read it on the other one. For the 520 that I got, I've already read it on the 520. So, I already know how this goes together. So, you got your fan extensions, if you need fan extensions. Okay, this right here, this is to couple your fans together. So basically you can probably couple all 6 of your fans together on this wire right here. So, well, no, the 3 fans here. I need to get me another one so I can couple more. I think the motherboard's got some, a lot of, yeah. We should be able to get away with what the motherboard has and what I have here. So, okay, now, this is AMD. This is AMD for that cooler. This, on the other hand, this is Intel. This is Intel right here. Okay. So, and there's the knurls you need right there to tie down your cooler. These are the screws for the fans. And they give you a couple more extensions. So I got 3 extensions. But we don't need this. This one we don't need. We don't need the Intel bracket. So we'll put that off to the side. But we do need the AMD bracket. We need the screw down the pump. The pump is not built into the radiator. My bad, guys. Let's throw that over there. Let's gently put this down like this. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that over there. Now, before you put this on, hey, Dakota, welcome back, man. Good to see you, man. Oh, I forgot I was answering questions. Sorry. Let me get back on the answer the questions going. Yeah, narcissism. We already talked about that. Yeah, lower the tension is better, which is true. Lower the tension is always better. You can't even put an AMD chip and Intel. You can't put in, which I know. John Paul, I just made it as an example. Just to let you know that. Just made it as an example. It's easy as booking a Lego. I encourage beginners to build their own machines, offering help. Save them some cash. Yeah, true. I mean, look at the spot. If you've been put in a tight pinch yourself many times when it comes to building PCs, then it's always good to show somebody that you can get cheaper parts and still get great performance for less of a price. It's always good to show people that. That is true. There was a time you could do that. A very long time ago. Yep. Very long time ago on that. Do agree with that. Let's see. Now I got a 45 watt MSR RTX 4060 laptop GPU. How's that laptop working out for you? I don't like laptops. That's the reason why I haven't even ventured on them yet. L2 cache, 32 megs. Yeah, that's about what my processor's got here. Even more. Big difference. 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It's good for me for the next years. Yeah, it will be good for you for the next few years. But also, too, remember, you can't... the only thing you really can upgrade is the system RAM. That might give you a little bit more... if you got enough system RAM, yeah, that'll be good enough for you for quite a while. I do agree with that. I don't remember ever seeing a GPU more than 3 fans. If you know any. Look, it's all over the internet, man. There are GPUs with 3 fans straight up. I mean, they got them 1 fan, 2 fan, 3 fan. They're even thinking about coming out with one with 4 fans. 4 fans. And I'm like, no way, man. So, you can use the cardboard box for the screws if you want. Yeah, I probably need to, don't I? Let's see. 3DFX Voodoo 6000 has 4 small fans, which it does. That's true. That is true. Well, that's cool. I haven't seen your how you been feeling, Dakota. I know you've been dealing with a lot, man. So I just want to see how you feeling, bro. When AMD said AM5 was gonna be LGA, yeah, what 17 LGA 1718? Am I right? That kind of threw everybody for a loop when they knew Intel was LGA 1700. I bet you that really threw them for a loop. Yeah, it's pretty much unavoidable, but they could have come up with a different name. That would have been more, instead of following suit and saying, well, why not we just throw an 18 on the end of those two and say there and show in Intel something. They could have done that too. It's a tit for tat, man. It's tit for tat. It's like when Intel. How is it? It was like when Intel had the pins on their processors back when AMD did. Now Intel switched to, pinless processors and all the pins are on the motherboard. That was back then. There was a lot of stupid crap that happened on back then. Future-proof stuff completely. Upgradability does not matter. Only present favor, even price, performance ratio, my $250 is paired with a $60 motherboard. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? When I first started my channel, I paired a 5600G with a B450 Asus motherboard. And I ran 9 months off of that with no graphics card. So I do know the feeling of running, minimized. And that motherboard was only $79, I think. Something like that. Well, damn, y'all gonna keep me talking. I ain't even gonna get to working. Okay. Now, the way I want it to come off is like this. Wow, that is tight as Jesus. Wow, that is tight. Oh my God, that is tight. Ugh. Okay. Let me bend this down. Oh, wow. Guess it does fit. Okie dokie. Okay. So we know it fits. That's the one thing. So now, got to make sure the fans go in the right direction. Okay. Make sure your fans go in the right direction. And what I mean is by the wires. Now, these are not the Lee and Lee fans. So do understand that. These are not the Lee and Lee fans. These are deep cool. You want the airflow to come out of here. You want it to come in here. The back, man, you guys ain't even see what I'm doing over here. Let me get that over there. Okay, this is the way you want them to go in. And make sure you got rubber grommets on this so you don't get vibration. It's what they call fan vibrations. You know, it's like good vibration. No, we're not singing today. Don't even go there. But anyway, you know, I got more screws on this table than, you know, they got in one of those boxes in a hardware store. Oh my God. Okay. But piece by piece, we're going to get it in there. So imagine building your own computer by the ocean and it taking you about 300 years to get there. Wow. And we've been going for how long? This might take me more than the 3 hours I thought. Oh my God. Oh my God. This computer is future proofed. Just to give you a helpful hint. The reason why I'm saying it's future proofed is because the only pieces I have to change is the motherboard, the processor, and the RAM. So when prices come down on motherboards, processors, and RAM for the AM5 series, all I got to do is switch those three. Now you're saying to yourself, oh my God, man, is that the reason why you got AM4? Of course it is. The reason why I got AM4 was because I had it on hand. Now, the ones that are getting this computer, this is going to be 100 times faster than what they have. And how do I know that? Because I built their last computer. That's how I know. So, and yes, I'm not tightening down the fans just yet until I get them all squared away. So, until you got them all on here, you don't want to tighten them down just yet. Because they won't line up correctly if you tighten them down. It was my first self-built PC. So what can I say? Hey, that's all good. Look, I built one that was a cheapie, and it lasted me I still got it. It's in my sleeper build now. You know, I still got it. It still runs. There's nothing wrong with having a cheap PC. Everybody thinks, oh, because I got a cheap PC, you know what happens, right? It's going to run like crap, and it's going to do crappy stuff and this and that. Depends on the processor. You know, everybody says, well, you know, you got the 5700X. It's going to run like crap with the 4070 and this and that. No, it don't. That's where they're wrong again. Just because I don't run my crap at stock speeds does not mean I can't get more horsepower out of that 4070. Oh, I can get a lot more out of it. You guys are only seeing 75% of it. I still got another 25% to go. You know, that's what people don't understand. When you see me play games, I'm only running that the processor at about maybe 22, 23%. And I'm only running the GPU at about 75%. And I still get faster speeds without screen tear or none of that crap. So, you know, it's a matter of how you set things up. Yeah, 1,000-watt power supply. I can't complain. You're right. I decided to go 1,000 watts with this build because I know for a fact that, you know, when there's upgradability and you're at 1,000 watts, I can put a motherboard that pulls 400 watts up here and it'd still be good. Because total, I would only be up at about 750 watts, you know, with this build. Oh my God, somebody wants to talk to me. So I'm gonna let that ring for a couple minutes. I'm gonna text him to see what's going on. So give me a minute, guys. I will answer that. Give me a minute. Yeah. Give me a minute. Okay, if I gotta end up running down and because I gotta handle something, y'all are gonna have to be patient with me. I didn't expect it to go over doing 4 hours tonight. So, and I'm not even all the way there, too. I've been chatting with you guys, having fun and everything else. All right. Now, give me a minute. Here. Give me a minute. Oh, give me a minute. Oh, let me find out what this is about. Okay. Let me put this on there. X out of that. A little bit of a phone call, everybody. You okay? Yeah, I'm still live. I'm only halfway through the build. And it's been almost 4 hours. I know, it's crazy. But when you want to get it perfect, I mean, you're going to spend that extra couple minutes, you know, building it slow and building it carefully. And, you know, I mean, there's a mistake or two that I made, you know, A couple of my viewers kind of caught me on it, and I'm glad they did, because that's like $100 save right there. And I'm like, damn, I can't believe I missed that. So I should be, I don't know. I'm about halfway, 3/4 of the way through this. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Well, it shouldn't be that long, you know. So, okay. All right. Be there in a bit. Okay. See, that's what we call having a busy schedule, y'all. Okay. Um, let's see. When I decided to switch from AM4 to AM5, I switched out my PSU from the Seasonic Prime 650 Titanium Prime Gold 1300 Seasonic 80 plus gold. You know, yeah, I mean, because, but in a fashion, unless you're using the 7950 X3D or the 7950 XT, not the X3D, I could see you having 1300 watts, but it's always good to have that in the save. Truthfully, it's good to have it. Truthfully. So, okay. Let's get this kind of. I hate wire ties. These little bread ties. Oh, they're such pain in the asses. Oh my god. You know how many of these bread ties I had to take off doing computers and everything else? It's like you're almost up to like 1 million of the damn things, and you still can't get rid of them. You even go and open up a loaf of bread, you still got them on there. It's like, oh my god. Does this ever end? Will it ever end? Just my rant for the 2 minutes, guys. Had to. Okay, let's see. Got that one. I'd have been better off to get one of those link fans. You know, the ones that link up. Oh, no. Oh, got it. Never mind. Almost turned into a moment. Almost had a moment there. Lost the bread tie inside between the fans. That would have stunk, but, you know. Moving on down the road. Oh, we got 5 people. Hey, thank you guys for, sticking with me on this. I know I'm doing this really slow. I know usually on the videos you see them go kind of fast, but, every little bit when it comes to building a PC takes time. It does. It takes time. I mean, there's nothing to rush about it unless you want to, have a PC that doesn't run, then that's up to you, But I would rather have one that does run, that will give me the performance and everything else, and I don't have any problems. My PC that I use now, that took me approximately, to fine tune and everything, took me about maybe 4 weeks. I swap out was easy. Just unplug it on and pull out all the PSU itself. And yep. Well, that's simple and easy. But building from scratch to now, little bit. When you're building a PC from the bottom end to the top end, a little bit of a different story. But, you know, pulling the wires out and putting them back in, that's half the battle. Except for the fan blades. Oh my God. Alrighty. Let's see. Had to lift this up like that. So. Okay. Now, I'm kind of cherry picking this. Okay. You know, these screws are actually better than the 240s. The width of the screws. You know, the 240 millimeter was a little bit weird on that, but okay, so this 360 is fitting really tight in here, guys. I mean, super tight. I'm like, wow. Can't believe how tight this thing fits in here. Oh, my. Yeah, this is fitting really tight. Wow. Well, I hope I'm doing better than most. And I'm trying to put this together and talking to you guys about it as I'm going along. Oh. Okay, so I'm only going to put the 4 screws in for now. Kind of speed this along a little bit. Okay. Now, the matter of the whole thing about this is all the connections. That's going to be the thing. Now, it's a matter of connecting everything and having everything together and, you know, going from A to Z, soup to nuts. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this the cooler block onto the processor. So that's what I'm doing now. So take your back shield, match it up. See, these got holes right here. Match it up. Make sure you got nothing trapped behind it. Make sure you got nothing trapped behind it. Make sure all your wires are not trapped behind that block. Now take this and you screw it into here. Then you screw them all in. Well, you know, it is a long time to be doing something like this, you know what I'm saying? It is a long time. So, it's definitely a long time. Okay, now that I got that on, okay, You take off your little cap. That's right there. Okay. Don't worry, it's not going to touch anything. Now, put that off to the side. It's more or less like therapeutic, wouldn't you guys say? More or less like therapeutic. Okay, now. Was it? I think it's right here. Okay. So, now, you take your little baby screws. There's only one real way you guys can put this in here. It's like this. So, now do mind, it comes with the thermal paste already on the water block right here. They already got thermal paste right here. For right now, it's going to do. And then later, because I have a feeling this is going to come off anyway. And later on, basically, it's going to come off for the simple fact is because I'm going to temperature check this. Not today, but when I get the SSD, M.2 SSD, I'm going to have to temperature check this and see how the thermals are just with what they sent out of the box. Okay. Now, if they sent you this AIO cooler with thermal paste on it, you want to see if that thermal paste is just as good as the thermal paste you use. Okay, so by doing that, you temperature test. When you're playing a game or you run a program that might get you in that right direction, you know, something that's going to put a little bit of a stress on your processor, just to see. And yes, I am crazy for doing this. Did I miss something? Oh, okay. I thought I missed something. And when you're putting this on, watch all your wires. Since I'm hanging mine upwards. Ready. Oh my God, guys. We're almost there. Can you believe it? We're almost there. Yeah. Yeah, well, this is live. Okay? I'm not in a speed competition. You know, I have to look at it that way. I'm not in a speed competition. I build it as fast as I can. And this is my speed. If it takes me 4 hours, if it takes me 6 hours, if it takes me 10 hours, I'm going to get it right the first time. instead of going back 5 million times to fix something. Oh, because it's not working right. We're not getting enough performance or this and that. I'm not going through that. Get it right the first time. You don't have to go back a second time. My philosophy, said and put. So, guys, what do you think so far? I mean, other than the wires hanging out, you know, which they won't be. I'll have all them put out there. I just wanted to get a preview look of, you know, what's going to happen here. That's good. We'll just put that over there. We'll just direct ourselves in the wiring segment of this. We'll move all the wires around. So, I'm moving the wires around. Yes, I'm moving them to the back. I just got to see what's what and what's going to be working with the wiring. I might not be able to do the wiring on this video today, guys, because I got something else that's, you know, just come up, real life, and so. But you will see this. You will see this completed before Christmas. Okay. Just letting you know that. Let's see. Put that over there. Put that over there. All right. Let's do this. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm just giving you an idea. This will be finished by Christmas. So, I might not be able to start it up today, but we will get it there. And I might not, you know, I might be able to have another live one before Christmas Eve or something like that. Who knows? Let's just get to the juicy part. This is why we're all here. The emotional people out there, the ones that wanted to see the graphics card, the ones that wanted to see the beast of it all. It's why you're here. You know, I didn't even get no stickers with this graphics card. That sucks. I didn't even get no stickers with it. You know, that's bad. Now, here we go with the crunchies. Oh, got some crunchies. And nobody's answered the question. Nobody's answered the question about this GPU. The 79, did the 7800 XT come with no peelies? Did it come with no cover for the pins down there for the connection for the PCIe? No one's answered that question. I wanted to know about the AMD. Oh, yay. So, no one's left me that question or that answer to that question. This is totally normal speed. Your live stream gave me exactly what I want. Feel free to make several episodes out of this. Will do. Oh, so it doesn't come with it? Isn't that weird? You got NVIDIA that comes with the peelies and the slot right here, you know. The cover for that. Oh, you guys couldn't see it. Cover for this, you know. And peelies to keep it from getting damaged, you know, the cover. None of it was there. You know, when you unpack an NVIDIA card that comes with all those peelies and everything, come on, guys. You should know this. Let's see. We have to undo something here. Wow. This is what I love about this case. This case has got so many options. It's got vertical and horizontal for your graphics card. It's got vertical and horizontal. So, your new graphics card, right? Look at that. Beast. You measure up and find out where it sits. And you find out which ones. And then you remove the shields. Okay. So these first two. And never, ever set this here. Never set this face down on the fans. They don't teach you that in any of the books, but these fans right here sit above, just a bit above the case. Never set these face down. You'll break the fans. The weight of it will push the fans out of alignment. So, if you didn't know that, now you do. You wonder why everybody gets coil wine and stuff like that? That's because everybody puts it face down on the fans. The biggest mistake I've ever seen people do. Okay. This comes out. We are 2 bays out. We are 2 bays out. Well, I hope they got some spare stickers. But I gotta drive 6 hours to go get them. That's the bad part. That is the bad part. Oh. This is heavier than my graphics card in my PC. Damn, this thing's heavy. Wow. Ooh, Lordy. Okay. Now it's a matter of getting this back in. Let's see. Okay. All right. I always do the bottom one first, then the next one. Is because the bottom one first is a set screw. And the top one's not. Beastly. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. See this? That is cool that you can take and make this vertical in this case. Now, what? You would spend, what, a couple $100 on getting a case that has vertical. Believe it or not. Make sure I get this. I can't even get it right. Oh my God. We'll get it right. Am I wrong about that? You will spend a couple $100 on a case just to get it for vertical. You know, to make your GPU vertical. You know, where it's face front like this. At least this case has that option to go vertical or horizontal. So, that's what I like about it. So, aesthetics in the future for this has got a lot of good aesthetics for the future of this case. So, future proof, you can get, this case is going to last you, this case is probably going to last you maybe good 7, maybe 6, 7 years, maybe 8 years. You might be able to get 8 years out of this case. You know. Does the vertical placing affect the cooling of the GPU? No, it don't. No. The only thing that it might affect is where you put your fans down here at the bottom. If it's sitting too low, you might touch the tops of your fans, but that's pretty much it. As far as the cooling, not really, because instead of the air blowing, and get this, instead of the air blowing on the case, on the motherboard and coming out this way, now the air is flipped to where it's going this way, this way. You got your GPU like this, you got your fins going across like this, so the air is coming out like this and going down like this. So, no. It actually would increase the airflow on the GPU by turning it vertical. It would increase the airflow, if you're wondering. So, and it would take the heat away from the motherboard and make the motherboard run cooler with the VRMs. So, with your M.2 and everything else, it would make it run cooler. So, if that's what you were wondering. Let's see. Some RX 7900 XTX GPUs had vapor chambers issued when... Yeah, and you notice they did, and how they ran in trouble with the vapor chambers, that they had some kind of leakage or something with them, if you remember right. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, well, turning it vertical, it has its advantages. Okay. Even though that it has correct cooling, it has advantages to where you got your heat sink right here, and you got the air coming out your heat sink this way. But do remember, it's going out the same way towards the motherboard. Now, flipping it this way, the heat goes out this way, and the heat goes up this way. So it rises the heat to the top, and it goes up and out, and then the heat goes in through here, and it should go bottom and out. So either way you look at it, so it should be that way. Now, these fans, these are not reversible fans. These are not reversible. So that means I would have to put this fan here. This fan here. And this fan here. Come on, get in there. Alrighty. So, now, what do you guys think? I know it's not finished, but you're getting a good look. This is the way it's going to look. So what do you think? Bad to the bone, or what do you think? So you got your fans, air coming up this way. You got your air coming around this way. You got your air pulled out this way. A lot of airflow. A lot of airflow. So we got proper amount of airflow. Since we got this glass right here, and we got no airflow directly coming this way, the airflow is going to come out and pull up and around like this. This is going to blow up like this. I think it'll work. Yeah, mounting vertical does take away a lot of that sag. It's basically, instead of putting all the weight to the back of this right here, which I'm going to come up with a solution for that too, so this doesn't sag right here, which I got an idea of. I'm probably come up with a mount right here, right in this area, and push it up right here. And that'll keep it from sagging right there. I can put one right here, and that'll keep it from sagging. But all in all, until I get the SSD, I pretty much can't go any further than this. So yeah. Oh well. I got the direction I'm looking forward to. Okay, so let me pull you guys back up here again with me. Okay, now the thing is this. This is the Christmas build. It's not completely finished. I know you guys would have loved to see me finish it, but I have a couple things that did come up, and that's the reason why I was on the phone. I do apologize for that I can't fully finish it, but at least you're seeing, what the build is all about. And I guarantee you will see the final lighting of this, and I will have it up for you. So I do apologize about this, but I'm going to have to get going. Okay? I hope y'all can understand that. I have one person that's sick right now, and they're kind of depending on me to make sure they're, well taken care of. So I do have that on my plate as well. So what do you guys think? Before we cut it loose, what do you think? You're welcome, machine. You're welcome. But that's pretty much how you put your system together. I mean, yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it. There's always tomorrow. We always got tomorrow, and I can always come back to this tomorrow. But I'm not going to have the SSD until after the 21st, 22nd. So what we can do is I can leave this just like this, and then we can come back when I got the SSD, and then we can finish this off. Or I can do another stream, finish this off, but it's not going to, do me any good because I'm going to have to pull it back out. You know what? I don't have to pull anything off. M.2 sits right here, right above the graphics card. It's not under the graphics card. This is right above the graphics card. Wow. More advantages with this motherboard is really, this motherboard is surprising the hell out of me at this point. It's just, it doesn't stop giving. It just keeps on giving. Wow. I'm imagine when this bad boy lights up and I got all them lights set on the, you know, on the motherboard with that, with their lighting control program. This thing is going to look like a monster. My God. It's going to look like a monster. You're welcome. I'm going to call you MTBK. How about that? MTBK. How about that? Does that work for you? I'm going to try to remember that. And you're welcome. Yeah, well, that's the only part I'm missing is the SSD. I have everything else. I have the PSU. I have everything that's in here. This system looks sick. I hate to tell you this. This system looks crazy sick. I'm looking at mine over there, and I'm looking at this over here. You know what? I'm doing the... Shit! You gotta be kidding me, right? This looks better than mine. I'm like, geez. Wow. That thing looks sick. Once we finish it up, I'm just going to throw a little bit of a spotlight montage on it really quick. Look at that. I'm going to throw a little bit of a spotlight montage on it there for you. So, that's my montage. I can't do it like everybody else, but at least I'm close. Awesome. We'll do. We will do that. And I'll try to get you guys back on maybe, you know what, I might do another 2 live videos. How about that? I might do another 2 live videos to finish this up, you know. But we'll get it there together. Y'all just got to be back here when, you know, when I get ready to post it again. So do keep an eye out on your notifications. So in case, you know, I get that moment, I want to take and finish this up, do keep an eye out for that notification. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you enjoyed this build right here, this monstrous of a build, please subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, tell your friends and your family, your sisters, brothers, cousins, uncles, and everybody to come on down and join us right here on JJ's PC Builds and the community. And all my veteran subscribers, much love to you for all that you do, helping support the channel, watching the videos from beginning to end, and telling your friends to come on down here and do the same. So we're going to jump out of here, guys. I do appreciate you being here. We're gonna have a follow-up video on this. We're not done yet. We're gonna have a follow-up video on this, and it's gonna be live. So do make sure you do keep an eye for the notifications as well. So, but we're gonna jump out of here. You have a fine evening. I hope you guys enjoyed everything on the video, and I hope, you know, I just want you to keep coming back, you know. And make sure you put a positive thumbs up on my videos. This is how to get YouTube to push my videos up to get more subscribers. We need more subscribers. Just to let you know, we definitely do. We're over the 300. We need a couple hundred more, and that puts us on the books for YouTube. And the more likes you put on the video, the more YouTube will push my videos out there, so that way we can move forward into the future. But anywho, you all be safe, and yeah, bless you all, and thank you for being here, and we will see you on the next video.